Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our trading room. And hold on here a second. We'll get the screen share going on. There we go. Just a little reminder about how risky trading is. You should only risk money that you can afford to lose. Always good advice. Certainly puts a lot less pressure on your trading. Just a moment. I'm just trying to find my daily chart. There we go. So yesterday's session, very quiet. But the fact that we're getting some bullish follow through here after an attempted move lower by the sellers, I don't know. What do we think? This bar here, very, very strong. I think we're really going to make a stab here at this resistance zone, after which we're going to get our whole breakout thing going on. Our breakout, our retest. And that may be the true test of whether the buyers or sellers are in control. But right now, things still a little bit more bullish than bearish. Here, pre-market, you can see the European session relatively quiet, but also very steady. A nice steady progression higher. That's going to leave us with a little bit of a gap here to the downside on the open. For those of you who like your first in sync eagle signal, there it is right there. We do have a buy signal here to start the morning. Stop placement, well, if you're going to do it, you're probably going to have to place your stops at least below that swing. For me, I am going to try not to do anything silly today. I wonder if that opening gap is going to be calling to the market. Yesterday, even though it finished on a bull note, it was still a relatively quiet day overall. All right, we'll just give the market here a few minutes. Oh, there we go. A bit of a quiet start, just kind of flip-flopping back and forth. If we continue to move sideways like this, we will have a bracketable range again. I don't know if I want to include the pre-market low. And so far that early buy signal working not too badly, honestly. Set that to the side. Getting a number 3 signal here on the Raptor. That's coinciding with the trend change signal on the Falcon. The Hawk already well into its first micro macro cross. I think I might, if I were to consider these, definitely do it on a second push entry opportunity, which is what you have going on now. And now we're coming back now with counter trend signal here on the Raptor. So yeah, there's still a little, they're searching. Keith, Keith asking about the Bollinger Band suite that I have here at the bottom of the chart. Well, thanks very much for asking about that, Keith. Hold on here just a second, folks. Yeah, the Bollinger suite, which you see here at the bottom of the chart, this was something that we looked at a couple of weeks ago at our Rabbit Hole Fridays, where we kind of look at different indicators and explore different ways to mess up your mind and your trading by throwing another log on the fire, if you will. The Bollinger Band suite, I actually found really useful, which is why I kind of tacked it on here on the indicator, on the Raptor, the Hawk, the Falcon, the Eagle. Bollinger Bands deal with standard deviations, where you are trying to show the market relative to price. So for instance, if I put Bollinger Bands here on the price chart itself, so there's the Bollinger Bands on the price chart. And what the Bollinger Bands try to do is they try to show you when price is normal. You know, you've got your median line here, and we can talk about Bollingers on another Friday, but just really quick, you've got your median line and then you have your standard deviation. So it shows you when prices get outside of their standard deviation, or if they're on the upside of the standard deviation or on the downside of the standard deviation. The idea is when prices get outside of the Bollinger, they will have a greater tendency to trend. Well, what the Bollinger Band suite has done is it's actually taken that one step further, and it analyzes it relative to the indicators. And what's really interesting is how well the Bollinger suite works on the DTS and the Raptor system. So it's essentially a tool that we use for confirmation, really. So for instance, here we get a number 3 signal. Are the Bollingers in sync with the number 3 signal? Well, yes, as a matter of fact, they are. And I'm hoping you can see this clearly enough. But the Bollinger, or the indicator, is outside of the Bollinger, telling us that, yes, the market is more bullish at this point. Now, I find it works best if I stay in sync with my bands. As always, counter trend trades, even though you can see this one working out pretty good, the Bollinger actually firing the signal way back here, the Bollinger already getting bearish, and the number 2 signal coming here, I do still try to stay in sync with the band. So I've got a bullish band. I'm more or less going to ignore the counter trend signals, even though, as I said, the Bollinger here kind of caught it early. But here, you know, you get a number 3 signal. You've just had a great big pullback. Let's pull that forward or backwards a little bit. You've got a big rally, you've got a big pullback. Now you get a number 3 signal. Am I going to get enough here to reach my profit objective? Well, according to the Bollingers, you are. Everything's in sync again. And, you know, you had a nice little progression from there. So it just adds another layer of confidence to your system. And as always, the big rule for putting anything on your chart is, does it help? And yeah, I think it does. So I've left it on there for a little while anyways. And you can see even right now, we're producing that number 1 signal. Where was that number 3 signal that printed early? Here it is. It struggled. The Bollingers were in sync and struggled. It got up to its profit objective. And then we came back with, well, here we have another number 1 signal. It's also in sync. I also will use the Bollingers if I'm in a position and all of a sudden the Bollingers start to drift back inside the band. So let's say I'm long on this number 3 signal right here, and all of a sudden my Bollingers start to drift, sorry, trying to get that where it just starts to go. Okay, and they start to drift back inside the band. Let's say my initial stops were 2 swings back. Let's say my initial stops were right here. Well, this now is my cue that maybe I want to start bringing my stops in a little bit more aggressively, because that bullish momentum, it's faded. So there's another way that you can incorporate it. Nice thing too is, as far as pricing for indicators go, it's a fairly reasonably priced little indicator. And we are going to have a promotional piece going out here shortly. So if that's something that you may want to add to your inventory, you know, that would be a good time to do it. If you want to add it early, just shoot me an email and I'll get you the promo code early. But like I said, confidence-wise, it's a great little tool to have there to help judge the validity of a signal, whether or not you want to try to put some money on it. Well, we're still kind of bouncing around here a bit. We have made a slight breach of the high to start here, but we've since had several retests. Here on the Eagle, the Bollinger's giving you your Bollinger squeeze. That's when the Bollinger bands get very, very narrow. And we have a bit of a bull break, so maybe, what time is it? Oh, well, we're almost outside of opening range. We're going to get a trend change signal here on the Falcon. Maybe it's time to get bullish. All right, let's see if we get a second push on that. All right, so here now the signal, the bar is flinching a little bit, at least enough for me to consider it as a second push opportunity. I'm going to get my exit order out of the way. With the chart trader, you need to remember these orders are live once you put them on your chart. All right, let's see what they've got. Need to bring my stop back up now that the order is live. Can't forget to do that. That would be bad. Yeah, Mark says this sideways stuff in the morning is starting to become a habit. Ain't that the truth? It's funny, normally this time of the year the markets are a little bit more responsive, but not lately. Well, got a couple of upticks. Getting above 72.80 is going to be a bit of an obstacle, I think. Once we're up there, well, we've actually got a little bit of room. I'd almost be inclined to try to stretch out to the next resistance zone. There we go. That's enough for me to roll my stops. I think I've got the wrong profit objective here. Yes, I do. I was wondering why that profit target looks so far away. Well, we have hit our high probability profit objective, and I'm going to cover that now. Put the squeeze on that bar right there. It's getting a little bit of a tail. Very often there's a small hesitation after we hit our high probability profit target. All right. And I did not want to let that get away because I've got the wrong settings here. So let me fix that. Trade calculator. Initial stop. Where's my targets? Oh yeah, down there. See? I got a 40 tick target instead of a 20. How did that happen? All right. I thought it looked a little far away. Okay, so not a bad trade. The market was kind of nibbling away at the top side. We did have the roller coaster effect going on here, but by and large, everything remained bullish. Then here on this last trend change that we got, the one that we took, everything was in sync. So again, we're working our way through the top end. We're above the secondary resistance line. The Bollingers are in sync, and the market went up. Yay! So, as I've mentioned frequently, when you are trading, I believe you will do better to trade with a trading quota. And your base objective should be to make $100 a day, whether that's via two $50 trades or one $100 trade. If you can do that day in, day out, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but after that, the power of multiples comes into play. So we've got the breakout, we've got the retest now. If you were so inclined, you could put your just in case order to buy above here. Like I say, the nice thing about having a trade quota is that you will be a little bit more selective about your trading. You will keep from over trading, which is kind of the same thing, but muy importante. And now we're back in the slow sideways grind. Well, we're retesting the breakout. All right, here we go. The big retest. what's coming next? Well, we're still waiting for the retest. Oh dear. Back to the hard edge. There's really not a whole lot to comment on. right, there's a little bit of a retest. We're getting a red bar buy here now on the Eagle. Very slow still, very constipated. Hey, way to go, Mark. Mark says took a nice late filter entry in the EMD, that's the mid cap, the S&P 400, for $800 on 4 cars. Nicely done. He said the mid cap went parabolic overnight. Parabolic, by the way, for those of you not familiar with the trading parlance, is when your trend, typically in in an accelerating market, the trend is usually very steep. And then it will start to get this kind of shape to it. That's referred to as a parabolic trend. And it usually results in a very fast moving market. Well, we got a bit of a hard edge bounce here. If you wanted to shoot a trend line like so, you'd have a good excuse to get long. If we get a little bit of a pullback, actually, you know what? I don't do limit orders very often. There we go. Let's throw a limit in right about there, right near the hash mark. Here, we'll adjust it slightly. So all the limit order does is it's going to bring me in here where the hash mark is. And it's not something that I normally do, but the market did look back a little bit, gave me a chance to get that entry. All right, we're about 3/4 of the way to my profit objective, so I'm going to roll to break even now. And here too, you got a couple of things coming into sync. We've still got the bullish band, of course, and we got the hard edge bounce. It did not print as a hard edge bounce, but that is what it was, a hard edge bounce. It did not print as a hard edge bounce because the clouds were intertwined. But we also had the trend line break, and the Bollingers were in sync. So there was every reason to believe that the market should try to push a little bit higher off of that signal. Those are the kinds of things you want to look for. That made things a little bit more worthwhile. The Raptor actually pretty quick on that signal. It coincided here with the Eagle signal. The Raptor, of course, a blend of the other instruments. So occasionally, you will get a Raptor signal before some of the others, but it looks like this time it coincided with the red bar buy here, the hard edge bounce red bar buy on the Eagle. All right, we're coming back now. Probably going to test the bottom end of this range. As far as the eagle is concerned, we do have a rule of three. Even though there's only two counter trend signals, we already have a rule of three. Now, with this, you could look to short, but I would not short until we got below this swing low. You could also hold out for the next signal, which would confirm the rule of three signal. But you can do it on two signals as well. The important thing is that because it's counter trend, you first need to have something resembling a trend. Secondly, you have to have the test of the extreme. So if you have those two components, it doesn't matter whether you have two signals or three signals. But there is a chance that the market will try to push back one more time. But we'll see whether they try to recover here now. Head a little bit lower. This morning's range actually looking more like this low from the overnight. And don't forget the market still bullish, so this is definitely a counter trend type video. All right, here we go. Maybe. Okay. So it looks like they're going to try it to the short side. Is this thing on? Wow. If I could at least see a one bear bar form below here, I would have an excuse to bring my stops up. Nothing. Isn't trading exciting? Well, we're getting some bullishness coming back. Yeah, here we're coming back now. But with the rule of three, typically we see three counter trend signals before the market actually does the reversal. Again, counter trend trades, right? I'm showing you this because there's nothing else going on, but in actual fact, you will always do better avoiding counter trend trades if at all possible. So we encountered the trend line here now, the bearish reaction. Oh yes, I guess I did mute the mic. Sorry. There was nothing to say. I did. Don't know if you guys caught the part where I was just going on about the part of the problem with trying a counter trend a trade is that it blocks you from taking the with trend trade. So we had a couple of red bar buys, which would be with trend. We got now a second push opportunity on the red bar buy, but it really right now the market's just very content to be hovering around this 72.75 zone. 72.70, 72.75. It's very happy right there. Hey, way to go, Mark. Mark says, just picked up another late filter entry signal. My day is done. It's, I'm showing you this because there's nothing else going on, really, but looks like it's a fairly quiet day today. The market really just stuck in a sideways type trend. I need to see a couple of bearish bars in my favor. That will confirm that my stop is in the right place. And it will complete the rule of three signal. So you can see we've got the warning dot, which should produce the third sell signal, which opens up the possibility that, yes, we could be on the right side of the trade. So we've got now a couple of bear bars in my favor. That confirms that my stop is two swings back. That's the good news. The bad news is we've broken this trend line and we haven't seen very much in the way of bearish follow through. The Bollingers have also gone a little bit more bullish, but I can't do much more with my stops right now than what I have. And it's looking very much like I'm going to get tagged out here. And there they go. All right, so there you have it, the evils of counter trend trading or attempting to counter trend trade. Staying with the trend, whether you bought in here or bought in here, even if you bought in here with your stop two swings back, there's swing one, there's swing two. So your initial stop would have been back here. Not outrageous, a decent sized stop. The market comes up. It did give you a chance to at least get the trade to break even. If you did not, you can see that the swing held and you came back with another signal, at which time you could adjust your stop a little bit, could adjust it some more, and at least get it into a position where once again you could at least be break even or even in with a small profit. If you want to improve your trading results, really try to avoid counter trend trades. Counter trend trades are so tempting all the time. They're misleading because they look so darn attractive. you can see how even going back to the market too many times, every time you step back to the market, you're asking for it. Yeah, look at that. The buyers just keep on pushing. So the trend trumps all. Well, gang, there's not much more going on here today. The market really stuck in a sideways range. I think we're going to close up shop here. There's really not much point in hanging around. You already know how to deal with a breakout when and if we get it. You're going to be looking for a breach, a retest. That will give you a zone which you can buy above the retest, and or the failure thereof will give you a place where you can sell below. But honestly, the market is really constipated here today. There's just nothing going on. When in doubt, look for the pullback, look for a chance to buy. That's probably going to be your best option here today. And that'll be that. So if you have any questions, please type and I'll wait. Otherwise, we're going to close up shop here. Alrighty. We'll see you tomorrow then. Have a great day. Talk to you then. Bye for now.